Hi everyone, today I am here to talk to you about the Hyrox PFT, or the Physical Fitness Test. What is the Physical Fitness Test? Well, it is a test that has been put together by the good people at Hyrox. Like a lot of things Hyrox, it starts off with a run. So, number 1, 1,000 metres of running. That can either be done on the road, a motorised treadmill at 2%, or an assault treadmill. Number 2, 50 burpee broad jumps that have to be 90 centimetres. Now, you don't need to continuously cover the distance like at a competition. It is 90 centimetres, 90 centimetres, 90 centimetres, so it can be done on the spot as long as you cover that basic distance. Station 3, 100 stationary lunges. Now, this is just forward lunges as long as the knee touches the ground and you're fully extended and you fully stand up so your hips are straight. Then it's a 1,000 metre row. Standard 1,000 metres as fast as you can go. Easy peasy. That's station 4. Station 5 is 30 hand release push-ups. To take your hands off the ground, so if only a millimetre, you just take them off and put them back on again. Push up, push up, push up to fully extended. And finally, it's the dreaded wall balls. The physical fitness test ends in exactly the same way the competition does, 100 wall balls, and they are soul destroying. When you are maxed out, when you are capped, the wall balls are the things that suffer, and you see so many people in that zone of pain right at the end of the physical fitness test and at the competitions. I'm about to attend my 6th actual Hyrox, so I've never really taken that seriously, but as you can see, it's here published on the website, and like I mentioned, if you go to an affiliated gym with Hyrox and they monitor your physical fitness test and time it for you officially, they can then present those times to the leaderboards online. So it's a finger in the air if you don't quite know where you are. For me, I'm 10 weeks out from Hyrox Birmingham, which is my first of the winter season, as it would be many. And I'm going to do one now to figure out where I am. Now, I've kept myself in a relatively good state of fitness, but it's nice to have a little benchmark, something that I can repeat in exactly the same way a little further down the line, probably at week 8, to figure out, have my training methods, has my approach to this particular event been worthwhile? Has it worked? So I will be going to the gym in about an hour, and I will take the camera and I will record my efforts, and then I will overlay the time afterwards, and I will give you probably an immediate reaction from the gym, and then maybe a talk to camera afterwards like this. So let's do this. Okay, so in the gym, and I'm going to set up my physical fitness test. My biggest piece of advice is to get the rower out and get a ball out before securing a runner. Then you've got those when you come off. Put your bag down, put your towel down. Holiday rules. Here we go. Need one of these. I need one of these. Easy peasy. Lay it all out. Alright guys, so now we are going to start the physical fitness test, the PFT. As you can see, I'm writing everything down. Oops, made a mistake. So I don't forget what's going on and I don't have to resort to looking at my phone. So the challenge has in fact started. I've opted for the assault treadmill over the motorised treadmill or the road running, simply because it's my preferred choice. They say that the assault treadmills are about 30% harder than running on the road, and from doing quite a bit of running and monitoring my pace on the assault treadmills over various runs, I think that's about right. It is obviously curved upwards, so it is slightly uphill, and it is self-propelled, so you are obviously providing the energy to propel that conveyor belt all the way around. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I'm going to fast forward quite a bit. So as you can see, my legs are moving really quick. That guy behind me is just gone to the toilet. Whoops. He's in there for an awful long period of time. Bit suspicious, if anything. Oh, he's back. Don't worry. I'm still going though. Here we go. So I'm approaching the 3-minute mark. That's about 800 metres, and we have returned back to normal speed. At this point, I am winding down the last sort of 50 metres, wishing and begging that it be over. And at about 3:30, I can see the last few metres coming up, and at 3:35, that particular exercise is done. Hands on the rail, and I am off. 3:35.
Okay. Burpee broad jumps.
So on the day I wasted quite a bit of time pissing around with the GoPro there, but for the sake of the video it was fine. So these are the burpee broad jumps. I have a 1 meter square tile in front of me which I am jumping over. I do a little bit of a bunny hop just to get my toes to the line so I know I've done the exact rep, backwards and forwards. Now if you've ever done burpees you know that they're terrible, terrible, terrible things. If you've ever done a Hyrox you know that this is probably the worst way to spend your Saturday or Sunday ever. And it's one of the things that I am worst at. I know this because this is the bit that I plead with a God I do not believe in, and make my peace with various deities to help me across the line. Now don't worry, that's about as much regular speed burpees as I can tolerate. The post-traumatic stress of watching myself do them is well, it's too much to bear really. So as you can see the time is ticking on and on and on. These are laborious, boring 50 reps of burpees. They are absolutely the worst part of this particular session, and in fact the worst part of probably the event as well. Oh, back to regular speed. Oh, that's good. That can only mean one thing, there's not many left. I'm obviously getting a bit slower and slower and slower. You can see that I do not have much oxygen left. Bearing in mind this is just a kind of a industrial unit, it has no air conditioning, it has very poor air circulation, though I am stood next to a fan that is 3 feet in diameter that is not switched on. That is probably a rookie mistake, I should have switched that on before I started. Nevertheless, I am continuing to power on through these last few reps on the burpees. Now at this point I'm realising that the Hyrox gear that I am wearing, the Hyrox top, the merch that I am sporting, is in fact made of cotton and therefore is terrible to wear when really, really hot and sweaty, as it becomes pretty much a flannel. But if they just made some technical t-shirts that would be ace, some technical vests. Oh, I'm done, excellent, finished. Thank F for that.
Okay.
Anyway, that can only mean one thing. We are moving swiftly on to lunges. Now lunges are okay when they're done like this because you can smash through them really quickly, which is not exactly true of what you do at a Hyrox event. These are unweighted, static lunges, whereas on the day you are covering distance with a 20 kilo sandbag across your neck. And again, I am not intending on making you watch me do all 100 lunges. So here we go, fast forward Martin is fully in play. Look at me go, knee to the ground and hips have to be straight at the top of the rep. That's pretty much the only sort of prerequisite to completing a rep on this movement. On the actual day you're not allowed to put your sandbag down. That's the one of the 90. I've just gestured for 90 to the camera, so there's only a few left that I have to talk through. Yeah, on the day, if you put your sandbag down, you have to go back several meters. I think 10 meters even, which seems a bit harsh. I've seen people that drop the bag by accident, or they've sheer exhaustion and they've had to go back 10 meters, which does not make exhaustion better. Right, so moving swiftly on. What are we on now? The row. The row. Now, while I can knock out a relatively decent row when I'm fresh and able, while I can try to perfect my form, when you come into the row machine absolutely cream cracked like I am here, it is pretty much survival. And now I'm rowing at roughly a 2 minute per 500 meter pace, and it's not particularly quick, but it's quick compared to say the times you might expect on an actual Hyrox event. Most guys probably will aim between 4 minutes and 4 minutes 30 if they're hoping for a relatively decent time on the day. Now I have liaised with John Steventon, our regular rowing expert in the Hyrox forums, and he's he has tried to give me some tips, of which I have tried to listen to, but implementing them, I'm obviously completely special when it comes to rowing, and I will just do it my own way regardless of what people tell me. So yeah, there's quite a lot of people use the row on the day as a bit of a rest station. Going extremely hard at this particular exercise can wreck you for the latter half of the race. So, but aiming between 4 and 4:30 is actually a really good battle plan. If you go sub 4, you are doing rather well. The sort of difference between a sub 4 and a 4:30, it may only be 35 seconds, but you will actually come off feeling a little bit better, and the subsequent runs will feel a little bit better. As you can see, my face is in a state of distress, and that's not an exaggeration. That's exactly how I felt. I just wanted someone to walk through that door and tell me it was all okay, I could stop, but nope, that didn't happen. No one came. Ended up rowing and rowing and rowing until I hit 1,000 meters. So we're on 17 minutes now, and my foot's flipping stuck in the thing. So back to adjusting the camera real quick. You can see that I've just gone just over 4 minutes on that particular piece of equipment, which isn't too shabby. And now we move on to a bit of a weird one. This is this plays no part in the Hyrox series, the push-up with a hand release. So chest to the ground, hands have to come off the ground before you start the rep. And I actually found this quite tough. After everything else that came before, I was struggling, one rep after another, and I took a little break at 20 and then did the power through the last 10. And I think it's mainly because your chest is on the ground and you know your lungs are gasping for breath and they just can't take it in when you put that pressure on your chest. Now we come to the finale of this particular fitness test, and it is the wall balls. I'm afraid it's a 6 kilo ball for 100 reps, very similar to what actually happens on the day in a Hyrox competition. You hit the high target is the sort of what you have to do in terms of the ball throw, and thighs have to be parallel with the ground. Now what I've noticed is if you put the camera on the ground looking up at you, not one rep looks like it's proper. If you put the camera higher than you, as in eye level, then it does look significantly better. Now, not every rep I did was perfect on this particular day. I know that, and if I'm honest, if I had a representative from a Hyrox affiliated gym standing behind me checking every rep, I'm sure there would have been 2 or 3 that would have been disallowed. My biodynamics do not allow for great squatting. I find my chest seems to lean forward with every single throw. I just don't find it comfortable. I've never found it comfortable when doing squats of any kind, but with regards to Hyrox, these are a necessity to get the job done. Don't stop when you are tired, stop when you are done. Now back to fast forward mode. I did stop a few times in this particular set. Pissing around with the camera was a good excuse to catch a breather. I was sweating so profusely at this point that it was dripping off my nose and into my eyes, and I had a towel and an electrolyte drink to my hands off to the side there, which I did partake in a few times. I broke these down into 10s in the end just to get them done, which is very... Oh, I'm done! Yay! And that is pretty much the result of this test. It puts you in a state of wanting to lie down on your face in the gym, and why strong men doing deadlifts, cleans, behind you stare at you a little bit side-eyed, wondering what the hell is going on.
Minutes, 8 seconds, all in.
So my sweaty self sort of goes a little bit fetal at this point, just trying to catch some oxygen, since there is apparently none in the local vicinity, since I've used it all up doing that particular fitness test. And thumbs up. Hey, so still alive, not had a heart attack, nearly 43 years old, survived another stupid thing I've done at the gym. Excellent. Well done, Mark.
So, I have just come out of the gym after doing the Hyrox PFT, and I can tell you for nothing that is a cracking little test. Now, I did a pretty fast run to get me going, so I banked some time. About 3:35, managed 4:04 I think on the rower, and I kept a decent pace on the burpees, but they just drag on. Push-ups were harder than I thought, for only 30, like the hands-off versions, and then wall balls are a complete grind to the end. But 24:08 I believe. The sweat was just coming off me, just like dribbling off me, and I had to do a little bit of a workout about 35-40 minutes afterwards when my gym buddies arrived. So hard work. Anyway, off home for a drink and some food.
I have just got in from the gym. About 1 hour ago, I took part in the Hyrox physical fitness test. It was a self-assessed one I'd set up all by myself. Wasn't official, but I did it by the book as I could. So let me just run you through what I did. I got to the gym. I secured the 2 bits of equipment that are used later on in the physical fitness test. So I secured the 6 kilo wall ball and the row machine, and I put them in one corner of the gym. I then used my Garmin watch to start my timer, overall timer, and then I started on the assault treadmill and worked my way through the various exercises. Now, it was difficult. I'm not saying difficult, it's just hard when you push yourself to that level. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you make it intense enough, it gets difficult, certainly over a period of time. So I managed sort of the run in a sort of a modest 3:35. I mean, running is sort of in my wheelhouse, so that's all good. I came off feeling relatively good after that, and then went into the burpees where they stole my soul. Burpees are the absolute worst. They just eat you up, and they just take so bloody long, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. The tiles on the floor in the gym are exactly 1 meter square, so backwards and forwards, they have to be 90 centimeters, but that was fine, backwards and forwards on these tiles. And then worked through the other things, and on the row I got 4:08 I believe. And then it was the push-ups were quite difficult, taking your hands off. I was gassing a bit on those, and then eventually the wall balls that just destroy what little of your endurance you have left, and you start to have to break those down and just sort of grind them out until the end. If you look on this screen, and I will throw up a graphic now, you will see that my heart rate was an average of 144 throughout, maxing out at around 185. Now bearing in mind that I am nearly 43 years old, that's about as high as it goes. Any higher than that, and yeah, I start bleeding from the nose and eyes. It was tough, I'm not going to lie. By the end, I could tell that I had done it. I was dripping wet, and then I needed a minute to sit down, and I was dithering a bit, and I had actually needed to do a bit of a workout with my gym friends afterwards, so another 35-40 minutes after that I was deadlifting and so forth. But yeah, it's a tough ask. So the time, what did I get? Well, I got a 24 minutes and 8 seconds on the watch. That's how long it took. Obviously, that doesn't bear in mind that if I'd have done this at a affiliated gym where I was being watched and monitored for reps, I might have encountered reps on depth and targets maybe on the wall balls. I know the odd one of my squats might not have been low enough, and the odd target was a bit of a glance, but so I might have been no reps for a few, so you could probably add 20 something seconds on. So please, if you are up for it, please take on the challenge yourself. It's a very good test. It gives you a very good idea of where you are. They have got a rough bit of guidance on this particular website, the Hyrox website. If you scroll down to my performance, it says if you're in 20 to 25 minutes, you're for Hyrox Pro. If you're 25 to 35 minutes, Hyrox Single, and 30 to 45 minutes, Hyrox Double. So that's a really good sort of way of figuring out where you might want to start. Now, if my time is anything to go by, it would put me in the sort of bottom end of Hyrox Pro, and I'm pretty close to that, and I would be able to complete a Hyrox Pro. I just haven't got round to it yet. There's many reasons why I haven't done those yet, and I'm still working away in the opens, but mainly because of the time of day in which they normally run. I prefer to run in the morning, you see. It's a really good test to figure out where you are. It's great for beginners, and even people like me, it's a tool just to figure out where you are at this particular point in time, because obviously fitness is fluid, fluctuates year to year, month to month. It's never a guaranteed thing. It doesn't stay forever. It's one of those things that it's just a way of checking up. So take the fitness test at your earliest convenience. Maybe put your times in the comments. It's not a competition, it's just a tool to figure out where you are. That's it for this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Many thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Martin.